If you're happy with your life and you're very confident that you're living a great life, your life reflects great principles, you are irrigating the souls of your family, you're making a fantastic contribution, and you see no real room for change, then you're responsible, and so am I. But if we've been living a life and we want to get out of this stagnation that we're in, that is sense enough to tell us that something is wrong with the way we have been living. Another activist in the time of the beloved Prophet. The activist is called a kafir. Kufr has nothing to do with a particular set of people. This is a wrong idea that we are Muslims and who are not us, they are kafirs. Nothing can be more misleading than this. Because Allah told us in the Qur'an in chapter 2, verse 62, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا وَالنَّصَارَى وَالصَّابِئِينَ. Any group of people, men, whomsoever establishes the security system compatible with divine values, they secure their lives and everything in the environment in accordance with the divine lofty values. مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. And they are very concerned about what the future will bring them. They're very concerned about the end results. They're very concerned about the tomorrow or the next week or the next year, the next month. وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. And they are not only selfish, they don't only work for themselves, which is natural, but they are constantly working to repair the damages in society. This is the meaning of salihat. They're constantly working to repair the damages in their own lives. They're constantly working to repair the damages in the lives of their family. They're constantly working to repair the damages in the lives of their children. They're constantly working to repair the damages in the lives of their friends, of their relatives, of their neighbors, of their colleagues, of society at large. So these are people who have a responsibility to enhance themselves and others. وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. So this is the lofty meaning the Qur'an wants you and me to understand. We should not feel we are believers and we are Muslims and everybody else, they're kafir. A kafir, as I've said before, is somebody who buries, who hides, who conceals, who suppresses. And does everything to deny the presence of that thing to the eyes of others. And I've said, ask yourself the question. If a kafir, according to the language in the Qur'an, is somebody who covers up the Qur'an, in whose life the Qur'an does not stand out, you don't need me to tell you, because you might get irritated, and I don't need you to tell me. But let us evaluate ourselves and see where is the Qur'an in our life. I don't mean as an Arabic book which we can read and which Muslims spend lots of their money and lots of their time to send their children, even now in Canada. They send their children to do what? To study how to read the Qur'an in Arabic and how to memorize it in Arabic. And the parents feel they're on top of cloud 9. As to the sense of the Qur'an, there are very few people who teach that in Canada. And there are very few homes that are concerned about whether their children, they or their children, know the sense of the Qur'an. So a kafir could be anybody. It could be anybody who calls himself a Muslim. It can be anybody who calls himself a believer. As long as that person suppresses, conceals, hides divine values in society. So a kafir was another activist. So in the Prophet's society, you had people who were trampling on divine values. When you dehumanize people, you trample divine values. When you enslave people, you trample divine values. When you confiscate the rights of people, you trample divine values. When you make enticing and enchanting and you mesmerize and fascinate people with falsehood, you are trampling on divine values. And whoever does that is performing the actions of a kafir. Any human being, whether he is inside this quote-unquote Muslim community or outside the Muslim community, whatever name people call them, whoever secures life, secures the assets of nature, and the divine, sublime values that go along with all of this, and is very concerned about the repercussions of his actions or her actions, is very concerned of what they do, what it is producing, is very concerned of the things they do in the morning, what will it produce in the evening, is very concerned of the things they do today, what will happen to it 1 week from now. This is the meaning of akhirah. Akhirah doesn't mean when somebody's dead. This seems to be, unfortunately, the meaning of religion. That religion has no answer for the life that people live, but it scares them about when they are dead. And they are banking up all these blessings, and they have these zodiac gods telling them that if you read this, you get so much blessing. If you do this, you get so many blessings. The only thing about that, they got to die before they can ever hope to see those blessings. And that's not what the Qur'an is telling you and me. The Qur'an is telling you and me, we must be concerned of what fruits will come out of our efforts. The fruits, the seed we plant today, it should be able to grow for us to see it. Because that will reinforce our commitment to such cultivation. Otherwise, how are we going to know we are doing the wrong? How are we going to know this is non-productive? The next activist that was present in the society of the Prophet, and it's present in almost every society, and is a very slippery rope that you and I got to be very careful about. Because the grease on it will make anybody slip. And that is making profession, professing something and turning the back on it. This is called hypocrisy. Making what is popularly known in the community as shahada. Saying that we believe in God. Saying that we believe in the Prophet. Saying that we believe in the Qur'an. I mean, if that's all we're doing is saying, that by itself is hypocrisy. If we just want to say it, and we don't want to even apply what is attached to it, that is the next form of hypocrisy. So in the society of the Prophet, they had people who posed that they were there for the good of society. What do you think these leaders in these societies posed as? The heads of the tribes.